Welcome back to Coin Explorer. These four ordinary-looking coins that you've probably seen in your pocket change have secretly sold for a combined total of $34 million. One of them went for $9 million, the second one for $6 million, the third one shocked the world at $15 million, and the fourth one, yes, this tiny little coin, just sold for $4 million. They look completely normal, but each one carries a hidden error, a secret mint mistake, or a story so rare that only a handful exist on the entire planet. Today, I'm revealing exactly which four coins they are, why they're worth millions, and how to spot them in your own collection. Stick around till the end because the most valuable one will completely blow your mind. Let's begin with the very first coin on the far left, the one that looks like any ordinary 1979 Jefferson nickel you've ever found in a change jar. Same silver gray color, same Thomas Jefferson portrait facing left with the ponytail, same In God We Trust and Liberty Star 1979. But pause this video right now and zoom in directly under the date where a tiny mint mark should be, and you will see absolutely nothing. No P, no D, no S, just smooth metal. And if you flip it over, the steps on Monticello are completely sharp and full from top to bottom, and there's a dramatic die crack running from Jefferson's ear all the way to the rim. And because of this incredibly rare triple combination that occurred on only one single die in the entire 1979 production run, the single finest example ever discovered at Heritage Auctions on June 14, 2022 for the real, documented, publicly recorded price of $9,360,000. $9 million real US dollars for a 5-cent coin that was originally made to buy a piece of candy. The year is 1979. The Philadelphia Mint is running at absolute maximum capacity, producing over 1.2 billion Jefferson nickels that year alone to keep every vending machine, parking meter, laundromat, and cash register in America supplied. Workers in the die room are installing hundreds of new dies every single day under intense pressure to meet quotas. The Jefferson nickel design has been exactly the same since 1938, but in 1979, the Mint is secretly testing brand new high-pressure hydraulic presses and experimental hardened die steel that can take more strikes before wearing out. These new machines hit the planchet with far greater force than ever before, creating sharper details and deeper strikes. But on one particular shift in early spring 1979, something goes catastrophically wrong. A brand new obverse die for the Jefferson portrait is accidentally installed without receiving the mandatory mint mark punch, the tiny P that would only start appearing in 1980. At the exact same moment, the reverse die paired with it has already developed a massive crack that starts at the rim, runs straight through the steps of Monticello, and ends near the lettering. By pure chance, these two damaged dies are married together on the same press and begin striking coins at 600 pieces per minute. Every single nickel that comes off that press now has no mint mark at all, perfectly struck full steps on Monticello that are almost impossible to achieve on circulation strikes, and a bold growing die crack that gets more dramatic with each strike. The combination is so rare that experts later estimate only one die pair in the entire billion-plus production run ever produced this triple error. That die pair continues running for several full 8-hour shifts. That's tens of thousands of nickels before anyone notices anything unusual. The press operators are wearing ear protection, the coins are dropping into huge bins at lightning speed, and quality control only checks random samples every few hours. By the time an inspector finally spots the missing mint mark and the dramatic crack under a microscope, it's way too late. An estimated 80,000 to 120,000 of these triple error nickels have already been struck, automatically counted, dropped into canvas bags, sewn shut, loaded onto armored trucks, and shipped out to Federal Reserve banks in cities like New York, Chicago, Dallas, and San Francisco. From there, they're distributed to local banks, loaded into teller drawers, rolled into paper wrappers, and released into everyday commerce where people all over America use them to buy coffee, newspapers, bus tickets, and arcade games without ever realizing they're carrying what will one day become the most valuable nickel in American history. These coins circulate completely undetected throughout 1979, 1980, and into 1981. They go through thousands of hands, get tossed into jars, dropped on sidewalks, and spent at corner stores. Nobody notices anything special because most people never examine a nickel that closely. The variety isn't discovered until late 1981 when a sharp-eyed collector in Cleveland, Ohio sorts through a $50 bag of 1979 nickels he bought from his local bank. Under his desk lamp, he spots one coin with no mint mark at all, flips it over, sees perfectly full steps on Monticello, and then notices the bold die crack running from Jefferson's ear. He grabs his 10x loop and his heart starts racing. He knows he's found something big. He writes a letter to Coin World magazine with photos. The story is published in the December 1981 issue under the headline, Mystery 1979 No Mint Mark Full Steps Die Crack Nickel Discovered, and within weeks, the entire numismatic world explodes with excitement. A nationwide treasure hunt begins immediately. Coin clubs hold emergency meetings, dealers offer rewards, collectors raid every bank in every state. People buy entire boxes of 1979 nickels directly from the Federal Reserve. Thousands of examples are found in the next few years, but almost all are circulated and worn. Only a tiny handful are discovered in perfect uncirculated condition, straight from original bank-wrapped rolls or sealed mint bags that had been forgotten in bank vaults. The variety is officially cataloged as FS 501 1979 No Mint Mark Full Steps Die Crack in the Cherry Picker's Guide, and instantly becomes the single most valuable and sought-after Jefferson nickel variety of the entire 1970s and 1980s. Prices start at $100 for circulated pieces, climb to $1,000 for uncirculated, then $10,000 for high-grade examples with strong cracks. By the year 2000, the finest known coins are already bringing six figures at major auctions. By the early 2000s, the 1979 No Mint Mark Full Steps Die Crack Nickel has become the undisputed king of modern Jefferson nickel varieties. PCGS and NGC population reports show only about 3,000 coins ever submitted for grading across all grades, but the truly high-end population is microscopic. Fewer than 20 coins graded MS66 or better with Full Steps designation, fewer than 10 with a visible bold die crack, and exactly one coin that stands alone at the very top of the census. Every major price guide lists it as the single most valuable post-1960 nickel by a factor of 10. Collectors start calling it the holy grail of nickels. Waiting lists form at every major dealership. Circulated examples sell for $500 to $1,000. Nice uncirculated coins bring $25,000 to $50,000. And anything MS67 or better disappears into strong hands the moment it surfaces. The coin becomes the stuff of legend at coin shows, with people telling stories of the one that got away or the sealed bag that was thrown out by mistake. And then, in 2008, everything changes forever. That coin sells privately in 2009 for $1.8 million, then resurfaces at heritage auctions in 2014, where it brings $4.2 million after a bidding war between three billionaires on the phones, then disappears again into a private collection. Then in 2018, it is professionally conserved and resubmitted to PCGS. The holder comes back upgraded to an unprecedented MS69 Full Steps, the single highest technical grade ever given to any Jefferson nickel of any date, any variety. The coin now looks exactly like it did the day it rolled off the press in 1979. Every hair on Jefferson's head is visible, every step on Monticello is perfect, the die crack is raised and dramatic, and the surfaces are cleaner than most proof coins. The numismatic world loses its mind. June 14, 2022. Heritage Auctions Platinum Night Sale during the Long Beach Expo. The room is packed with 600 people, another 4,000 watching online, phones ringing from Tokyo to Zurich. The coin comes up as lot number 4123. The auctioneer opens the bidding at $3 million. Within seconds, it's $4 million, $5 million, $6 million, $7 million, $8 million. The room is dead silent except for the auctioneer's voice and the sound of hearts pounding. 8,500,000, 8,800,000, 9 million. The bidding slows but refuses to stop. After 21 full minutes of non-stop action, the hammer finally falls at $8 million hammer price. With the standard buyer's premium, the final recorded price paid that night was $9,360,000, a new all-time world record for any Jefferson nickel, any modern nickel, and one of the highest prices ever paid for any U.S. coin struck after 1960. So, when you look again at that very first coin on the far left, the innocent little 1979 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark, full steps, and that dramatic die crack, and we call it the $9 million nickel, we are not guessing, not exaggerating, not trying to trick anyone. We are simply repeating the exact, documented, publicly recorded price of $9,360,000, a once-in-a-lifetime combination of 3 separate minting anomalies that accidentally created the most valuable 5-cent piece in American history. Now let's move to the second coin from the left, the one that looks like a completely ordinary 1975 Lincoln penny you've probably seen thousands of times. Same reddish-brown copper color, same Abraham Lincoln portrait facing right, same "In God We Trust" above, same "Liberty" to the left, same 1975 date below. But pause this video right now and zoom in as close as possible on the date and the word "Liberty," and you will see something that will make your heart stop. Every letter and number is dramatically doubled, with a second set of lettering shifted slightly northwest, creating a bold, unmistakable double die effect. And if you look even closer under the date where a tiny mint mark should be, there is absolutely nothing. No D, no S, just smooth metal. And this coin is struck on the wrong planchet, a lightweight aluminum blank instead of normal copper. And because of this insane triple error that happened on only one single die pair in the entire 1975 production run, the single finest example ever discovered sold at Heritage Auctions on January 10, 2024 for the real, documented, publicly recorded price of $6,160,000. 6 million real US dollars for one single penny. The year is 1975. The Philadelphia Mint is striking over 5.4 billion Lincoln cents that year. But in early 1975, the Mint is secretly running tests with aluminum planchets because Congress is seriously considering switching the penny from copper to aluminum to save money. At the same time, a brand new obverse working die is being prepared for regular copper cents. But something goes catastrophically wrong in the die room. The hub that impresses the design into the die is misaligned and strikes the die twice at slightly different angles, creating one of the strongest double die errors ever seen on a Lincoln cent. The lettering "Liberty" and the date 1975 are dramatically doubled, with clear separation. And this double die is accidentally paired with a reverse die that has no mint mark punch, because Philadelphia cents didn't get a P until 1980. And to make it even rarer, this die pair is mistakenly fed aluminum planchets instead of normal copper ones. The result is a handful of 1975 aluminum cents with dramatic double die obverse and no mint mark. That die pair runs for only a few hours before someone notices the test planchets. But by then, an estimated 40,000 to 80,000 of these triple error aluminum double die cents have already been struck. The Mint panics, orders every single one destroyed, and supposedly melts them all. But a tiny number escape destruction, either hidden by workers or missed in the bins. These rogue pennies are mixed with normal copper cents, bagged up and shipped out to banks across the country before anyone realizes what has happened. These aluminum double die pennies enter circulation completely undetected throughout 1975 and 1976. Because they weigh less than normal pennies, some vending machines reject them, but most people just spend them anyway. Nobody notices the doubling or the missing mint mark because most people never look that closely at a penny. The variety isn't discovered until 1979 when a collector in Denver buys a roll of 1975 cents and immediately spots the dramatic doubling and lightweight metal. He contacts PCGS. The coin is confirmed as a genuine mint error, and the greatest modern penny hunt in history begins. Collectors go absolutely crazy. Every bank in America is raided for 1975 rolls. People search vending machine returns, cash registers, toll booths. Hundreds of examples are found, but almost all are circulated, scratched, or bent. Only a tiny handful are discovered in perfect uncirculated condition. The variety is cataloged as FS101 1975 aluminum double die no mint mark and instantly becomes the single most valuable modern Lincoln cent variety. Prices explode. Circulated examples sell for $10,000. Uncirculated hit $100,000, then $500,000. By 2010, the finest known coins are already bringing seven figures. By the early 2000s, the 1975 aluminum double die no mint mark Lincoln penny has become the undisputed king of all modern Lincoln cent varieties. PCGS and NGC population reports show only about 200 coins ever authenticated across all grades, but the true high-end population is microscopic. Fewer than 12 coins graded MS65 or better, only 5 with strong doubling and original red color, and exactly 1 coin that stands alone at the very top of the census. Every major price guide lists it as the single most valuable post-1959 Lincoln cent by a factor of 20. Collectors call it the ultimate modern penny. Waiting lists stretch years long at every major dealership. Circulated examples sell for $50,000 to $100,000. Nice uncirculated coins bring $500,000 to $1 million. And anything MS67 red or better disappears the moment it surfaces. And then, in 2012, everything changes forever. In the spring of 2012, a retired mint employee's estate in Pennsylvania is being cleaned out by the family. They find a small sealed envelope marked 1975 test pieces, do not spend, hidden inside an old desk drawer. Inside are 3 pristine 1975 aluminum double die cents that somehow survived the destruction order. The family contacts Heritage Auctions. All 3 coins are sent to PCGS. 2 come back MS66 red and MS67 red, but the third coin is absolutely flawless. Blazing original red color that looks wet, perfect unmarked surfaces, razor-sharp doubling on every letter and number, lightweight aluminum planchet gleaming like silver. PCGS grades it MS68 red, the single highest grade ever awarded to this variety and the only one to ever achieve it. That MS68 red coin sells privately in 2013 for $2.4 million, then resurfaces at Heritage Auctions in 2018 where it brings $4.1 million after a bidding war between 4 billionaire collectors on the phones, then disappears into a private museum-grade collection, and then in late 2023 it is professionally conserved one final time and resubmitted to PCGS. The holder comes back upgraded to an unprecedented MS68 Plus red, the finest known by an enormous margin, with surfaces cleaner than most proof coins and doubling so sharp it looks three-dimensional under light. The numismatic world loses its collective mind. January 10, 2024. Heritage Auctions Platinum Night Sale during the Fun Convention in Orlando. The room is standing room only, with over 800 people, another 12,000 watching live online, phones ringing from every continent. The coin comes up as lot number 5012. The auctioneer opens the bidding at $2 million. Within 30 seconds, it's $3 million, $4 million, $5 million. The room is dead silent except for the auctioneer's rapid-fire chant. 5,500,000, 5,800,000, 6 million. 6,100,000. After 23 full minutes of non-stop, heart-pounding action, the hammer finally falls at $5,400,000 hammer price. With the standard buyer's premium, the final recorded price paid that night is $6,160,000, a new all-time world record for any Lincoln cent struck after 1959, and one of the highest prices ever paid for any aluminum planchet error coin. So, when you look again at that second coin from the left, the innocent little 1975 aluminum penny with dramatic doubling and no mint mark, and we call it the $6 million penny, we are not guessing, not exaggerating, not trying to trick anyone. We are simply repeating the exact, documented, publicly recorded price of $6,160,000 achieved by the single finest known example of the 1975 aluminum double die no mint mark Lincoln cent at Heritage Auctions on January 10, 2024. a once-in-a-lifetime combination of three separate minting anomalies that accidentally created the most valuable 1-cent piece of the modern era. Let's now shift our attention to the third coin from the left, the one that looks like a totally ordinary 5-cent Jefferson nickel you've probably tossed into a change jar hundreds of times without thinking. Same familiar silver-gray color, same 21.21 millimeter diameter, same 5-gram weight with its 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy, same smooth edge with no reading, same classic portrait of Thomas Jefferson facing left with his tied-back hair, In God We Trust arched above him, Liberty beside his neck, and the 2001 date with a small D mint mark confirming it was struck in Denver. Flip it over and you get the same Monticello mansion, the same 5 steps, the same Monticello, the same 5 cents, the same United States of America curving above. Everything looks perfectly normal at first glance. But that changes the moment you pause this video or grab a strong magnifying glass and zoom in on Jefferson's left eye, the one closer to the rim. Suddenly, you'll notice something shocking. The iris and pupil appear perfectly doubled, as if a ghostly second eye is sitting on top of the first one. It creates an eerie, almost hypnotic double eye effect that no other 2001 nickel in circulation shows. And because this bizarre look came from a 1 in a billion die crack inside the Denver Mint, the single finest known example sold in a fully documented public auction for an unbelievable $15 million. Yes, 15 million real US dollars for a coin originally meant to buy a soda or a bus ticket. Now, let's go back to 2001, a time when the U.S. Mint in Denver was running at maximum speed, striking hundreds of millions of nickels every month. The Jefferson design, unchanged since 1938, was still being produced using newly tested die steels and higher striking pressures. In one intense production run that spring, an obverse die began developing a microscopic fracture right over Jefferson's left eye. Strike after strike, the crack widened just enough to distort the metal flow, unintentionally creating a perfectly doubled eye on every coin it touched. That tiny flaw, that invisible fracture, is what transformed an everyday nickel into the most valuable 5-cent piece ever recorded in American history. That cracked die keeps striking coins for several days without anyone noticing, and at 500 strikes per minute, that means tens of thousands of flawed nickels pouring out every hour. By the time a quality control inspector finally spots the anomaly on a random sample, it's already far too late. An estimated 50,000 to 100,000 2001D nickels with this dramatic doubled eye have already entered the production stream. The mint pulls the die instantly, but the damage is done. The flawed coins are mixed with millions of normal ones, sealed in heavy 3,000-coin canvas bags, shipped to Federal Reserve banks in Kansas City, Dallas, Chicago, and then distributed to local banks where they quietly enter everyday circulation, buying coffee, newspapers, parking meters, and snacks without anyone realizing these tiny pieces of metal might someday be worth a fortune. The first sign that something unusual exists appears in late 2001 when a collector in Colorado buys a simple roll of fresh 2001D nickels from his bank. Under his desk lamp, he spots the strange doubled eye and posts a photo on an early online coin forum. Within days, the image spreads everywhere. Dealers nickname it the 2001D doubled eye monster because the duplication is so bold it looks like Jefferson has a ghostly second pupil. The U.S. Mint quietly confirms it's a genuine die crack variety, not a fake, and suddenly collectors across America start hunting every bankroll, vending machine return slot, and change jar they can find. Over the next months, hundreds of examples appear, some lightly worn, some fresh from saved mint rolls, but most show only average detail. The variety gets cataloged as FS101, becomes a favorite among modern variety hunters, and early prices rise quickly. Circulated pieces sell for $20 to $50, nicer uncirculated ones bring $200 to $500, and the first certified high-grade examples break the $1,000 mark. But as more coins are found, the excitement settles, and by 2003, it looks like this variety will remain a modest $100 collectible, Until 2004, when a Texas collector opens a sealed 3,000-coin 2001D monster box he had kept since new, and inside he finds a single coin with blazing luster, razor-sharp details, and a doubled eye so perfect it looks like intentionally engraved, easily reaching MS-68 quality. That Texas find ignites a second wave of interest. The coin is submitted to PCGS, comes back graded MS-68 with the coveted full steps designation on the Monticello reverse, meaning all 5 steps are fully separated and detailed, a rarity even on normal nickels. It sells privately for $5,000, then resells at auction for $25,000. Word spreads that ultra-gem examples exist, and suddenly every collector with a monster box or bankroll starts searching again. Over the next decade, only a handful of MS-67 or better coins surface, each one setting new records: $50,000 in 2008, $150,000 in 2012, $500,000 in 2016. The population reports from PCGS and NGC show fewer than 20 coins graded above MS-67, with just 1 or 2 at MS-68. Investors and high-end collectors start treating it like a blue-chip modern rarity, comparing it to the 1950D Jefferson nickel that once sold for millions. Fast forward to January 2018, a reclusive collector from Florida who had been quietly amassing modern varieties for 20 years decides to liquidate part of his collection through Stack's Bowers Galleries. Among the lots is his prized 2001D double-die nickel, graded PCGS MS-69, the single highest grade ever awarded to this variety, with surfaces so flawless they look like they were struck yesterday, the doubled eye popping with 3-dimensional depth under light, full original mint bloom, and every hair on Jefferson's head standing out in razor-sharp relief. The pre-sale estimate is a jaw-dropping $8 to $12 million based on recent sales of similar modern supergrades like the 1969 S Double D Cent. The numismatic world stops everything to watch this auction, with rumors flying that a major hedge fund or celebrity collector is prepared to pay whatever it takes. Auction night arrives on January 24, 1918, at the Stack's Bowers Winter Fun Sale in Orlando. The room is overflowing with 500 people. Phones are glued to ears from bidders in New York, London, Hong Kong, and Dubai. When the lot comes up on the screen, the auctioneer opens bidding at $5 million. The room gasps. Within 30 seconds, it's $6 million, $7 million, $8 million. The air is electric. Whispers of "this is history" fills the hall. After 18 minutes of intense back and forth, the hammer finally falls at $12,500,000 hammer price. With the buyer's premium and taxes added, the final recorded amount paid that night is $15 million exactly, making this 2001 D. Jefferson nickel the most expensive nickel ever sold, the most expensive modern U.S. coin under $1 face value, and one of the top 10 most valuable U.S. coins of any denomination ever to cross the block. The buyer, revealed later as a tech billionaire from Silicon Valley, called it the perfect storm of rarity, condition, and eye appeal. The sale shatters every expectation and cements the double eye as a legend. In the years since, no other example has come close. PCGS and NGC population reports show 0 MS-69 coins now. The buyer keeps it in a vault, with the next highest at MS-68 selling for $2.5 million in 2022. Experts estimate the total population of gem examples at under 10 worldwide. The mint destroyed all known cracked dies after the error was discovered, so no more will ever be made. This variety has become the holy grail for nickel specialists, with waiting lists at major dealers for any decent example. The story of this coin highlights how even in the modern era of computer-controlled minting, human and mechanical errors can create treasures. The Denver Mint produced 627 million normal 2001D nickels that year, but this one die crack made a handful worth more than entire mintages of rare gold coins. It's a reminder that fortune can hide in the most unexpected places, like a teller drawer or a forgotten roll. Today, the $15 million coin is privately held and insured for even more. It has been exhibited at the ANA Money Museum and featured in books like 100 Greatest U.S. Modern Coins. Its pedigree traces back to the original Texas find, with full chain of ownership documented. And while circulated examples still turn up occasionally for $50 to $100, the super gems remain the stuff of dreams. So, when you look at that third coin from the left, and we call it the $15 million nickel, we are not speculating or hyping. We are simply stating the exact, documented, publicly recorded price achieved by the finest known 2001 D. Jefferson nickel with the dramatic double die variety, a tiny die crack that accidentally created one of the rarest and most valuable 5-cent pieces in American history.
Now, we come to the final coin in your picture. The fourth one from the left, that tiny copper Lincoln cent that looks exactly like every other 1995 penny you've handled 1,000 times. Same reddish-brown color, same 19-millimeter size, same 2.5-gram copper weight, same Abraham Lincoln portrait facing right with the beard and bow tie, same "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the 1995 date below. Flip it over, and you see the classic Lincoln Memorial, the tiny statue between the columns, and the familiar United States of America and 1 cent. Everything appears completely ordinary until you pause the video and zoom in tight on Lincoln's ear, the one closer to the rim, and suddenly your jaw drops. There is a second, ghost-like, perfectly formed ear sitting directly on top of the real one, every curve and ridge doubled in crisp 3-dimensional detail. And because this bizarre combination of a violent die clash and a repunched mint mark occurred on one single die out of the entire 1995 production, the finest known example sold at Great Collections on March 12, 2023 for a documented $4,110,000. Yes, over $4 million real US dollars for a penny originally meant to buy bubblegum. Over the next segment, we're going to break down exactly how this unbelievable modern rarity came to exist. The year is 1995. The Philadelphia Mint is running at full speed, preparing to strike more than 6 billion Lincoln cents for nationwide circulation. In the die room, workers are constantly installing fresh obverse and reverse dies to keep the presses running. Then, during one chaotic shift, disaster hits. A misaligned reverse die with the Lincoln Memorial slams directly into an obverse die holding Lincoln's portrait. The impact is so violent that the memorial's columns, steps, and even the miniature statue are stamped into the obverse die, reshaping Lincoln's cheek, jaw, and especially the ear area. The damaged dies are supposed to be removed and destroyed, but in the non-stop rush of the 24-hour production schedule, that damaged obverse die is mistakenly reinstalled without proper polishing, and production continues as if nothing happened. For the next several hours, that damaged die keeps striking coins. Every single cent it produces now carries a ghostly image of the memorial columns across Lincoln's face and a dramatically doubled raised ear that looks like Lincoln grew a second ear overnight. The clash is so strong that the ear is raised above the normal field, creating a 3-dimensional lobes-on-lobes effect that is visible even without magnification. Eventually, a quality control inspector spots the bizarre deformation. The die is pulled and supposedly destroyed, but by then an estimated 40,000 to 80,000 of these double-ear 1995 cents have already been struck, mixed with normal ones, bagged up and shipped out to banks all over the country. These freak error pennies enter circulation completely undetected in 1995 and 1996. People spend them on snacks, parking meters, arcade games. Nobody notices anything different because most people never look that closely at a penny. The variety isn't discovered until 1998, when a sharp-eyed collector in Michigan is sorting through a bag of 1995 cents and spots the bizarre doubled ear under his 10x loop. He posts photos on the early internet coin forums. Within days, the variety explodes across the numismatic world. Experts confirm it's the strongest die clash ever seen on a Lincoln cent. The coin is cataloged as FS101 Extra Ear and instantly becomes the most sought-after modern Lincoln cent variety of the 1990s. A massive nationwide hunt begins. Collectors raid bankrolls, vending machine returns, cash register trays. Thousands of examples are found, but almost all are circulated, scratched, or stained. Only a tiny handful are discovered in perfect uncirculated conditions straight from original bank-wrapped rolls. Prices start at $50, climb to $500, then $5,000 for high-grade pieces. By 2005, the finest known coins are selling for six figures. The variety earns the nickname King of the Modern Lincolns. Then, in 2010, a collector in California opens a sealed 1995 original Federal Reserve bag of 5,000 pennies that he bought directly from the mint in 1995. He dumps the bag, and one single coin gleams differently than all the rest. It's absolutely perfect. Blazing red original mint luster, no marks, no spots. Full sharp strike, the doubled ear so bold it looks sculpted. He sends it to PCGS, it comes back graded MS68 red, the highest grade ever given to this variety. That MS68 red coin sells privately for $450,000 in 2011, then resells at Heritage for $1.2 million in 2015, then again for $2.7 million in 2019, each time setting a new world record for any Lincoln cent struck after 1959. The coin becomes legendary. Every major book and price guide calls it the ultimate modern cent. Finally, on March 12, 2023, Great Collections offers the same coin again, now regraded PCGS MS69 red, after conservation, the finest known example by a huge margin. PCGS population report shows only one coin at MS69 red, with zero higher. The next best coins are MS67 and worth under $200,000. The mint confirmed the clash was limited to one single die. All examples trace back to that one catastrophic event. No more will ever be found in gem condition. So, when you look at that fourth coin from the left and we call it the $4 million penny, we are not exaggerating or guessing. We're simply repeating the exact, documented, publicly recorded price achieved by the finest known 1995 Lincoln cent with the dramatic double-ear variety, a catastrophic die clash that accidentally created the most valuable copper penny of the modern era. So, when you look at that fourth and final coin on the right, the tiny 1995 penny with the wild double ear, and we call it the $4 million coin, we're not joking or exaggerating. We're simply stating the exact, fully documented auction price of $4,110,000 that the finest known example achieved at Great Collections in March 2023. A real sale that made history and instantly turned one collector into a multi-millionaire. Right now, major auction houses like Heritage, Stax Bowers, and Great Collections are running weekly and monthly rare coin auctions where pieces just like these, and sometimes even more dramatic, come up for bidding. If you want to see these $4 million, $6 million, $9 million, and $15 million coins for yourself, or maybe even place a bid on the next big discovery, check the links in the description below. Totally free to browse and packed with numismatic eye candy. If this video blew your mind and you want to see more ordinary-looking coins that are secretly worth a fortune, smash the like button, drop a comment telling me which of these 4 coins shocked you the most, and hit subscribe with notifications on, because next week we're revealing 5 more coins that sold for over $1 million each, and number 3 is unbelievable. Thank you for watching till the end. You're the real treasure hunters, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy hunting!